Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everyone. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kello Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. It's great to have you along. Really appreciate it. I want to let you know I will be gone tomorrow. I will be gone all of next week. I'm taking vacation over Christmas. So no Greg Belfrage show, no Fourth Hour tomorrow or next week. And then I will be back the following Monday, December. Is that 28th? I think it's Monday, December 28th is when I'll return. So I'll be back before year's end, but no Greg Belfrage show tomorrow, no, or next week. Just enjoying the Christmas holiday, and I'm already kind of starting to get into it. I'm looking forward to it. I've got some, I'm going to be seeing my youngest daughter tomorrow and looking forward to spending time with her. So I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas. Great to have you along. Okay, the Miranda Devine's got a piece at the New York Post about the Vanity Fair interview with Susie Wiles. Now, I hate making a big deal about this because I talked about this a little bit on the air this morning. Ben Domenech had a piece this morning at the New York Post about it, as he's reflecting on it. And he's just saying, what a mistake by the Trump administration thinking that anybody in the legacy media is going to be friendly to the Trump administration. And that's kind of what we see. You know, we just don't see the legacy media. There's a hatred there, I think. I think there's a real hatred of the Trump administration throughout the legacy media. And Vanity Fair, really of all the publications, I don't know why they did the interview. But again, a lot of that is just, it's like, armchair quarterbacking. It's already happened. It's done. I think moving forward, I would hope that the administration stops doing a lot of these unfriendly interviews. One-on-ones where you really don't have control, you don't know what's going on, why do them? So Miranda Devine has got a piece at the New York Post, and she says, when it comes to hit jobs, this 10,000-word Vanity Fair spread on Susie Wiles is a classic, she said, of the genre. A lot of these people, the guy who wrote it, Chris Whipple, he's a veteran journalist. He has worked for 60 Minutes. What does that tell you? He has worked for ABC, MSNBC, CNN, NPR, Politico, The Daily Beast, all of these leftist organizations. And now he's at Vanity Fair. And I want to make sure I understand this right. Why did she do it? Why did she do it? It's just absolutely incredible. Wiles didn't respond to the Post questions about whether she thought her conversations were off the record, which is an answer in itself. I just don't know why she did it. I think the administration makes a mistake in doing these one-on-one sit-downs. Again, if they want to talk, if they want to know what's going on in the Trump administration, hey, they can sit down with the rest of the media in the White House press briefing room or whatever. If they've got questions to ask, specific questions, and we want it all on the record, it's just a huge mistake. So Miranda Devine's got a piece this morning at the New York Post. Ben Domenech has got a piece this morning at the New York Post. And I'm a little more of the state of mind of Domenech. It's like, why are you doing these? You are not going to be earning friends. The legacy media is just got more and more off the rails. They're more and more out of control. And the Trump administration should know this. What if you can't go in and think, well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to blow these people away. I'm going to be honest and we're going to have a great conversation and I'm just going to blow them away. One of the things that is really notable to me is, I'm following stories that are trending each day. I go to freespoke.com. Freespoke.com. It's free. And I pay for some additional services at FreeSpoke because of the nature of the work that I do. But if you want to see news stories that are trending, FreeSpoke is a great place to go. It's an easy search. It'll be easy to find, and I use it a lot. One of the things I like about FreeSpoke is they show you, here's the headline and here's the story, and then underneath there will be like, it depends on the story, but many times there will be up to 9 different media outlets or more where the story is trending, and it will show you left, right, center, so I can go Fox News, center, or excuse me, right. I can go to New York Post, right, or most of them are left wing, ABC, NBC, CBS. MS Now, any of this stuff on the left, and it tells you it's left, depending on what you're looking for. And so as I prepare the morning show, I use that and I try to, I use a blend. Here's what's being said, and here's my reaction to that, which is nonsense. But the point that I was trying to make is this Susie Wiles story, it's nowhere. It's not trending anywhere. It's nowhere. So it's just not resonating. And I wish some of and maybe you have to fault me as well. Why are the New York Post and other, why are we talking about it? I think we ought to just let it die on the vine. I think the left does this all the time. The media does this all the time. Media doesn't like a story. They just don't touch it. They'll let that thing die on the vine. The Hunter Biden laptop story was a great example. They didn't want to report on it. They go, well, we can't report on that, and this is what we've been told, and therefore, and we're not going to do any independent journalism. And in fact, then you'll remember Twitter at the time said, no, we won't even, the New York Post story about the Hunter Biden laptop. Yeah, that's misinformation. That story's not true. Well, now we know, of course, it was true. It was totally true. But they went out there. So this is the blueprint of how the media operates. I am honestly very surprised in some of the stories that the legacy media does not report on. I go, like, even this morning I mentioned this, the president does the address last night. So he's addressing the nation and he is talking about, the first year back in the White House. And so this first year of the Trump presidency, and here's what we've seen, and here's what we will see looking ahead. Here's what's coming up, all of that. And I was going to even more right-leaning outlets this morning, and you would see all of the banner stories that they're pushing. Okay, these are our big stories. This. And Trump speaking last night was nowhere in it. Nowhere to be found. New York Post had it, but even the New York Post, that was not the, top of the page, or, it's some Jeffrey Goldstein nonsense that was leading the New York Post this morning. And I went, really? Seriously? The president addressed the country last night. I would think that carries a little bit more weight than no. They just so even right wing, or right leaning media don't give a lot of these stories the attention that at least that I think it deserves. You know, um, Susie Wiles, that interview, honestly, I if it's not forgotten by this weekend, it sure as hell should be. And I don't know why Miranda Devine is somebody I really respect. I don't know why she's writing about it. I don't know why we're seeing all of this. Heard Clay and Buck talking about it yesterday, and Clay was, what a mistake. I think this is a huge mistake, and I totally disagree. So I listened to him, and I think he and Buck are really interesting. And I listened to it, and then I listened to Buck, and I tend to agree more with Buck, where I thought, well, what a non-issue, what a non-story. This is just okay. Yeah, it's a big. It's really who's going to remember this? It's not a big deal. She shouldn't have done it. I think we can all, in retrospect, say, it was a mistake for her to have done this Vanity Fair interview. I hope the Trump administration, though, has learned something from this. Honestly, I hope that moving forward, that they're going to be more critical and saying, okay, what interviews are we going to do? If we're going to do a one-on-one interview with somebody, who are we choosing to do those interviews with, and making sure that we want a copy of the entire interview. We want to be, for instance, we don't want them to be able to present a one-sided view of what took place. We want to be able to say, oh no, this is what the actual conversation was. Here's the actual transcript of what was said. But again, I think, why are you giving Vanity Fair? Why are you giving an interview to Vanity Fair, even if you know somebody here? But that to me is just, I hope the Trump administration is learning from that. And I would just, they want to do these pieces, and we want to sit down and no, don't waste your time. What, you think the legacy media suddenly now they've turned over a new leaf, and they're going to trash the Trump administration, but not you? Or no, it's just way too much. I was trying to see if there was anything else. I don't think there's a lot of information beyond what I shared with you during the radio show this morning. I did want to give a shout out to the folks at Vance Thompson Vision, and I went to the eye doctor last week. I haven't seen an eye doctor in a long time. I have keratoconus in my left eye, and it really severely impacts my vision. If you don't know what keratoconus means, what it causes, it causes the cornea of your eye, it bulges. So it causes kind of a bulge on the front of your cornea, and really distorts your vision. So if I were to look with my left eye, I mean, for instance, looking at my screen as to some of the comments here, I can see there are comments. I can't read them. Not with my left eye. With my right eye, I can, but my left eye is just, my vision is so bad. So I went and saw the eye doctor, and I'm like, this is something I really want to take care of. I've neglected my vision. I used to wear glasses, which were very effective for a while. My keratoconus got worse, and then I wore contacts for a short period of time. Problem was, cornea bulged so badly, I couldn't get the contact out of my left eye. I could get the right one in and out, no problem, but I could not get the contact lens out of my left eye. And so I just stopped. I haven't worn glasses. I haven't worn contacts now for a number of years. And I thought, this is okay. I have addressed a lot of other issues in my life. I've got to address my vision. I've got to get this corrected. So I went to the eye doctor. He gave me a referral to Vance Thompson Vision. I was in Vance Thompson Vision earlier this week, and they took a look at it, and yeah, it's bad. So so I'm hoping then sometime early next year, they do a procedure that's called cross-linking. And because I wondered actually if I would need a cornea transplant, because I know a number of people who have had cornea transplants, and they're coming up with new procedures all the time. It's absolutely amazing to me. But they do a thing called cross-linking, where, let me explain this correctly so that they go in and they put numbing drops then that are applied to your eye. They take off the thin outer layer, which they remove it, and then they put vitamin B2 drops that are soaked into the eye for like another 30 minutes. And then they go in, they use ultraviolet light for another 30 minutes. And then that activates the vitamin B2 drops that they put in your eye. And what it does is, if your eye then forms new cross links from one side of the eye to the other, you have these cross links that form, and that is supposed to flatten the cornea because, again, keratoconus causes a bulging of the cornea. So that procedure is supposed to flatten the cornea at least a little bit. And what they say is it prevents it from getting any worse. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all on board. Let's prevent it from getting any worse. Doesn't completely, a cornea transplant, depending, you might have, complete restoration of the eye. But in this case, hey, just stopping it from getting worse. And I'm 62 years old. It's not like, my body is already slowing down. I feel it, So at 62, I think flattening that cornea is going to be good enough. And at that point, then I can move back to glasses, be able to see. So that's what's been going on in my life. So don't be surprised if sometime early next year, at least I'm hoping, then that they say, okay, let's schedule you to come in, do this procedure, because you need like 4 days of, the last thing I want to be doing is looking at screens, and your eyes, it's going to hurt. It's like 4 days of recovery, and it's going to hurt during the 4 days. But afterwards, you're going to be glad you did it. And I thought, well, that's okay. I've been through things before. You had hurt while you were doing it, but you come out on the back end and you go, yeah, that was definitely worth it. So I'm hoping that this cross-linking is going to result in better vision for me, at least in my left eye. And then as far as my right eye, there's some keratoconus in my right eye as well, but not nearly as bad. They showed me the photos. It's not nearly as bad. And my vision in my right eye is much better. So I'm hoping that I had this cross-linking done and then move to eyeglasses, and hoping that's going to correct those problems for me, but we'll see. So that's been my life this week, is going in to see my own Dakota Vision and seeing Dr. Hayter, and then from there to Vance Thompson Vision. And they were terrific to me as I was in there. And I got to tell you this story and I gave a shout out to Craig, who's a listener of the Greg Belfrage show. So I go into Vance Thompson Vision. I never assume that people know who I am. I really don't. I think that would be obnoxious. I think it would be egotistical that you go in and everybody knows who I am. No, very few people know who I am. So I go in, and this young woman is helping me, and she was very pleasant. We're having a nice conversation. And she says, yeah, my dad listens to you all the time. She said, Craig was his name. And my dad listens to you all the time. So a shout out to Craig. I appreciate it. And I had a really nice conversation with her as a result of that. but she said he loves that Kello history quiz. He just absolutely loves it. And then I had an email, or excuse me, a text message from a buddy of mine yesterday. He was getting together with a friend of his for breakfast yesterday. And so they were setting a time, and his friend says, no, no, that's too early. I want to wait until after the Kello history quiz. So that history quiz is popular with folks, and which I appreciate. It's and I enjoy doing it. But I'm going to leave it there for today. I want to let you know I am on vacation starting tomorrow, and I'm gone all next week. So no Greg Belfrage show tomorrow or next week, and I will be back then the following Monday. So I will be back again for year's end, and I want to wish you and your family and your friends, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a blessed and a wonderful holiday. And I want you to know I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. Okay, you have made it to the end of the video, so you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute for the Bunker Brigade, those folks that are commenting, and you see their comments on YouTube, also on Facebook. Hit that like button. I can't appeal to you enough, please. And if you have not subscribed to the Greg Belfrage Show, please do so. Shooting for 600 subscribers. We're above the 500 mark. Now we're shooting for 600. So please subscribe to what we're doing. Honestly, I hope that you will find it to be a very easy way for you to support what we're doing, is just by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the like button. It's a painless way for you to say, hey, I appreciate this and what you're doing, and it means a lot to me. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I will see you again soon. So until I return, I'm underground and gone.